Mozart was a musical genius and loved to be direct. In 1782 he wrote a canon for 6 voices called Lick Me Inside the... No kidding, here's the sheet music. It was covered by Jack White and the Insane Clown Posse in 2011. Did you know that only 2 armadillo species are able to curl into tight balls? These are commonly known as the Brazilian and southern 3-banded armadillos. All other species have too many plates, making this level of flexibility impossible. Did you know that Germany has around 25,000 castles and palaces? 6,815 of those can be found in the state of Bavaria alone. Built in 1869, Castle Neuschwanstein is arguably the most famous of them all. Did you know that the dot over a lowercase I and j actually has a name? It's called a tittle, which is a noun meaning a tiny amount or part of something. Although people in the US are fiercely proud of this pastry case dessert, the humble apple pie was actually invented in England. Awfully sorry about that. It was first mentioned in the form of curry in 1390. That's the earliest cookbook in English and one of the oldest in the world. Did you know that there's enough graphite in a regular pencil to draw a line that's 35 miles long? That is equivalent of the distance between the City of London and its Luton Airport. Try it if you like. The abbreviation OMG was first used 106 years ago in World War I by Admiral John Arbuthnot Fisher. In a letter to British Prime Minister Churchill, he wrote, "I hear that a new order of knighthood is on the tapis. OMG. Shower it on the Admiralty." Did you know that octopuses are suffering from self-cannibalism? This process is called autophagy, which occurs when the animal is stressed. It is believed that this process is initiated by a bacteria or virus that finds a way to take control over the stressed octopus. Did you know egg yolk contains more protein than egg white because it is approximately 50% water, 32% fat, and 15% protein? Egg white, on the other hand, is about 90% water and only 10% protein. Did you know that Facebook's main color is blue because founder Mark Zuckerberg has a red-green color blindness? It's true. In a 2010 interview with The New Yorker, he said, "Blue is the richest color for me. I can see all of blue." What came first, the sun umbrella or the rain umbrella? First discovered in the historical Mesopotamia region in Western Asia, where the sun was a more threatening enemy than the rain, the umbrella was first used to protect people from the sun. So, umbrellas have been around for 4,000 years. When Caillou emerged in 1989, he was written and illustrated as a 9-month-old child. When he was aged up to 4 years for his TV series, adding a full head of hair made him unrecognizable. Therefore, the animators elected to leave his dome exposed to not confuse kids. Walt Disney's 1937 movie Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is not the first animated film. 20 years earlier, a 70-minute feature film was made in Argentina. It was a political satire called El Apostol, made up of 58,000 drawings. Apples are usually picked between August and November, covered in wax, hot air dried, and sent into cold storage. After 6 to 12 months, they finally land on your grocery store shelves. Everybody knows arsenic is toxic. But in the late 19th century, Dr. James P. Campbell's safe arsenic complexion wafers were meant to be eaten. They claimed to get rid of freckles, blackheads, and other facial disfigurement. Did you know that Germany was involved in the construction of the Statue of Liberty? In 1884, the Hessian cement factory Dückerhoff supplied 8,000 barrels of cement for the foundation and base of Lady Liberty. The Eiffel Tower could have ended up in Barcelona, but the Spanish city thought the design was too ugly, so Gustave Eiffel pitched it to Paris instead, as a temporary landmark during its 1889 International Exposition. Did you know that tiny bristles inside a lobster's little pincers are their equivalent to human taste buds? Meanwhile, lobsters' teeth are in one of their 3 stomachs. Fun fact, the first time the word period was used on TV in reference to menstruation was 1985, and it was none other than Friends actress Courtney Cox who said it.
Does your life change once a month because of your period? Still using pads?
Fun fact, Scottish regional airline Loganair operates the shortest commercial flight in the world between the islands Westray and Papa Westray, a distance of 1.7 miles, which is scheduled for 90 seconds. Every climate activist's nightmare. Did you know that there's only one Shell gas station that is actually shaped like a shell? 8 of them were built in the 1930s, but the only one left is in the city of Winston-Salem in North Carolina. Strawberries are not berries because true berries stem from one single ovary flower and have 2 or more seeds. Strawberries don't fit that bill as the fleshy part isn't derived from the plant's ovaries, but from the receptacle that holds the ovaries.
It's true, stripping saved Cardi B's life. After being fired as a cashier, stripping got her out of an abusive relationship, paid her debts off to college, and funded her expensive rent in New York City. The oldest surviving film is Roundhay Garden Scene, made in 1888 by Louis Le Prince, a French inventor. It simply shows members of his family playing in a garden and lasts for all of 2 seconds.
This is President Biden, and as you know, the White House has plenty of windows, bulletproof and shatterproof. And for security reasons, however, we must have remained them closed at all times. It's true, but we have an air conditioning system.
Camilla and I enjoy the music of Franz Joseph Haydn, who's known for his Surprise Symphony. It is known as the Surprise Symphony because of the startling loud chord that occurs in the second movement. It seems totally out of place within the melody, and apparently Haydn used it to wake up the audience. Quite ingenious.
That's what I do.
Windsor Castle is the oldest and largest inhabited castle in the world, and has been the family home of British kings and queens for almost 1,000 years. I should know. I lived there. Did you know that in England you can have drinks in a pub, but you are not allowed to get drunk? And in Scotland you are even forbidden to be drunk and in the possession of a cow.
Listen up, folks. The longest place name in the world can be found in New Zealand, and it has 85 letters. And I, President Joe Biden, am the only one who can pronounce it correctly. Here goes nothing. Taumada wakatangi hanga kowawau tamatia turipukaka pikimaunga orono kupokai wenua kitana tau. Impressive, isn't it? Especially 'cause usually I mumble. Fun fact, the teddy bear is named after President Theodore Roosevelt, whose nickname was Teddy. After he refused to shoot a captured black bear on a hunt, a stuffed animal maker decided to create a bear and name it after the president.
Since 1839, it is illegal to bang or shake your rug or your carpet outdoors in the street after 8 a.m. Please abide the law. Buckingham Palace is noisy enough as it is.
This is Jonathan, and it's not a joke. This tortoise is the oldest living animal in the world. Born in frickin' 1832, he turned 190 in December 2022. That's bloody amazing. He's seen everything. In the 1700s, the Earl of Sandwich, it's not a joke, John Montague invented the sandwich so he wouldn't have to leave his gambling table to eat. That's bloody amazing.
Did you know that the green code in the Matrix was actually created from symbols in the sushi cookbook of the coat designer's wife? It's true fact.
Now, many people don't know this, but I, King Charles, am related to Transylvanian Prince Vlad the Impaler, who some believe has been the real Count
Dracula.
In fact, I am his great-great-grandson, 16 times removed, and related to him through my great-grandmother, Queen Mary, who was of course married to my great-grandfather, King George V.
Did you know white sand is actually fish poop from parrotfish who eat dead corals? It's not a joke. Unable to metabolize them, they poop out kilos and kilos as white sand. They literally shit paradise.
Please, don't do this. Cats are extremely sensitive to high-frequency sounds, and running your fingers over a comb hits a very unique frequency that is making your cat's voice box vibrate, much like it does when purring. This unexpected feeling causes cats to respond by gagging. It's not very pleasant.
Cats are the only mammals that can't taste sweetness, That's because one of the two genes necessary for the sweetness receptor got permanently switched off millions of years ago.
It was language historian Ben Zimmer who found the earliest instance of WTF in a 1985 Usenet post titled Ramblings. There, a user named J. Fields wrote, "Upon booting, I received a message saying, 'Please insert Wordmaster.' I asked myself, WTF? Today, of course, everybody knows what it stands for. What the f***?"
Did you know that Sudan has more pyramids than Egypt, but the numbers aren't even close? While 138 pyramids have been discovered in Egypt, Sudan boasts around 255. When the Sultan of British protected Zanzibar died and a new one took over without British approval in 1896, Brits were not happy. British warships spent less than 40 minutes bombarding the palace before Khalid fled, marking the very quick end of the Anglo-Zanzibar War.
This is Patrick the Pony, and he is the mayor of Cockington in Devon. Yes, this place exists right here. Since the post of mayor was unoccupied for years, the residents elected Cute Patrick. His role is unofficial, non-legislative, and largely limited to opening shops by biting through a ribbon with his teeth. But he is also a therapy animal, bringing a smile to the elderly and everybody who needs cheering up. I love my kingdom.